Soccer on Cable 7. I'm Frank Mobasso along with Joey Presta. We're here at Queen's Agleta Field to bring you live soccer action of the Sudbury Men's Premier Division. Joey, what can we expect for tonight's game?
Tonight, Frank, Elliot Lake United is playing Flyers, Italia Flyers. These two teams have been flip-flopping all season long, along with Nickel City Lasers, between 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot in the league. Each team tonight has a chance to pull away from the other. As you're well aware, it's a 4-point game for either team.
So we'll be right back with live action from Queen's Agleta Field. I'd like to welcome our viewers to tonight's action, and we should mention off the top that we've got Mr. Joey Presta along with Mr. Mike, I forgot your name already, our president of the league here, and we have a threesome here that will hopefully try to entertain you as we await the start off of this game. Should mention to you that we've got Elliot Lake United against the Italia Flyers, and you'll see the Italia Flyers are in blue. You see there on your screen, and the Elliot Lake United is in green and white, as you can see as well. Joey, what kind of a game should we anticipate this evening?
Well, Frank, as we said earlier in the intro, we have 3 teams battling out for 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot, and Elliot Lake United, Nickel City Lasers, and these Italia Flyers. This game should be a real tough battle. I haven't seen Elliot Lake play this year, but from their past teams, they're a real aggressive, hard-running team and never stop. Flyers, relatively young team. We use a lot of skill and speed. We should be well entertained tonight.
So we're ready for action for this interesting contest between Elliot Lake United and the Italia Flyers. It's Mr. O'Neill now for Elliot Lake. Controls that ball, passing that back to Mr. Henry. Should mention that Guy Henry is playing virtually his first game in the net for Elliot Lake, as their regular goalie, Nick Papero, has opted to play out in the field. Short pass on the inside of Purdon, back to Sam Kanji. Taco now heads it forward. Bit of a scramble play as Timpano. Near side here for the Italia Flyers. Purdon against Rinaldi. Referee indicates an infraction and has awarded a free kick to the Italia Flyers. Massimiliano to Ashton. Ashton, far-reaching ball to the other side. Intercepted there by the Elliot Lake team. Stefanuto now, intercepted one more time. Corsi back to Stefanuto. Looks like Ashton, Danny Ashton with that ball. Now intercepted nicely by Elliot Lake player. See if we can get their numbers for you here. Pass back to O'Neill for Elliot Lake. Long ball. Might be a bit on the long side. Brian Ashton there, number 12, letting it run out. No, Lex to keep that ball in, but unfortunately hits it out of bound.
Yeah, this is a new position for Ashton. He's playing sweeper tonight. It's a bit of a change for him. He has been playing forward, but I guess Vince Pinella has decided to utilize his experience against this more experienced team of Elliot Lake back on defense.
Elliot Lake now on the far side. Taco. Brown. Intercepted there by, looks like Pinella. Sam Kanji now leaves it for Neal. Neal still with that ball for Elliot Lake, trying to get through. Far-reaching pass over here to Papero. We'll see what kind of a player he is out of the net. Nick Papero, unfortunately, Massimiliano, number 6 for the Italian Flyers, is able to knock that out, and we have a corner kick for Elliot Lake.
Yeah, new position for Nick Papero. He's a goaltender. He's their regular goaltender, but I understand that last week or the week before he tied the knot. He got married, and obviously he's probably missed 1 or 2 practices, so they're going to give him a chance to play out.
Okay, that's a good explanation as to why he's playing out.
Well, it's goaltending's a tough spot to play in. You got to be sharp.
Timpano now with the ball. Mike Timpano, number 9, takes a crack at it with his left foot. Intercepted by the Flyers. Bit of a wild shot. It's Purdon on the far side. Referee indicating an offside. Our linesman on this side, John Dowling, and you can see Bernie Andrews indicating where he wants that ball positioned on the offside.
Yeah, we saw the experience of Ashton there, Brian Ashton, pulling his team up to play the offside trap, and it worked perfect that time.
Corsi to Barrett. Brian Ashton playing back, and it looks like the sweeper position, but he's moving forward nicely now. Gets knocked off the ball by number 5, Parody for Elliot Lake. Brian Ashton coming all the way from what appears to be the sweeper position. Yes, he's going back to that position.
That's another ability that Brian has, is playing sweeper. He can also make the odd run. Some of the great sweepers back in Europe do that often, and it can really add to your attack. So Elliot Lake should be aware of this.
Ashton with a nice ball, a little bit on the far side. And Guy Henry, who, as we said, is seeing his first action in net for Elliot Lake United.
Yeah, actually tonight I think Elliot Lake has brought up 3 players from their junior team to fill in. They have 1 player hurt there. He's suffering with a fracture of a leg. That's Matt Binks, who's one of the more experienced players for them. So they filled in some of their gaps with some of their junior players.
Corsi over here to Rinaldi, intercepted by Purdon. Ray Purdon for Elliot Lake. Nice move to keep control of that ball. Chipped in the middle of the field. Purdon back up in the air. Barrett against Papero. It's Richard Corsi now with the Italia Flyers. Loses it to Mike Timpano. Timpano still with control of that ball for Elliot Lake. Back to O'Neill. Nice move by O'Neill. Chips that ball forward. It might be a little bit on the far side. You can see Brian Ashton going after it. And the goalie for the Italia Flyers picking that ball up. Or I'm sorry, just about to pick that ball up. Bruchik. Steven Bruchik for the Italia Flyers. Nice long kick into the center. Stefanuto. And that ball looks like it may be on the far side. Being retrieved there by O'Neill, Andrew O'Neill, who's playing center defense for Elliot Lake. All kinds of time and space. Decides to move it on the near side here. Timpano. Timpano with control of that ball. Rivers gets it to Purdon and intercepted there by Massimiliano for the Flyers. There's number 6, Massimiliano.
We've had a bit of a downpour here today, and the field, though, it seems to be in exceptional shape for tonight's game. Mike, I think the city should be congratulated on a fine job tonight, because that field looks in the best condition I've seen it all year.
It sure does, Joe. I walked the field before the game, and I was totally surprised by the how good condition the field was in.
So it looks like we've got a throw in here to Elliot Lake. You can see Brian Ashton directing his players. Nick Papero now trying to get into position. Throw in by the Elliot Lake. Taco intercepted nicely by Massimiliano. O'Neill up for that ball. Danny Barrett now in for the Italia Flyers. Still with control of that ball. Richard Corsi on the inside. Wide pass over here to Massimiliano. Chips it in. Rivers up for it first for Elliot Lake. Taco now against Barrett. Pampero. Purdon. Purdon to Taco. Chips it forward. Massimiliano for the Flyers. Rinaldi now doing battle with Timpano. Timpano seems to prevail. Back to Taco. Taco chips it forward. Fortunately gives that ball away to Massimiliano. Purdon gets his foot on that ball, but we're going to see another throw-in.
What we're seeing right now is 2 excellent teams, very evenly matched, just playing great ball possession and just feeling each other out.
Brian Ashton chips it forward over here. Near side, Rivers again. Penn, and it looks like Mr. Andrews has called an infraction against the Elliot Lake player, so we'll see what appears to be a direct kick awarded to the Italia Flyers.
A good addition to Elliot Lake this year, Joe, has been Mike Timpano. Mike has started late in the season. He just came back from school, and this is about his third or fourth game with Elliot Lake this year.
Yeah, Mike Timpano wearing number 9, and Mike, I had the opportunity of coaching Mike when we had the traveling team here, the United traveling team, and just a fantastic ball control player, tons of skill, and he should add to this United team.
Richard Corsi directing that ball out of play, so we'll see a goal kick awarded to the Elliot Lake players. That's Mr. Purdon that you see there on your screen. And Sam Cook moving into position, ready to receive this goal kick from Andrew O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill ready to pump that ball into the center. Looks like he's winding up for this one. Long one in the center. Brian Ashton's up there for first. Papero now at the ball, number 2. Ordinarily plays goalie. It's to Purdom now. Moves it on the inside of Papero. Intercepted there by Barrett. Bit of a miscue there, but it's Rinaldi now. Chips it forward to Richard Corsi. Corsi with some space. Moves down the line. Richard Corsi still with that ball. Intercepted nicely by Rivers. Referee has indicated an infraction against Mr. Corsi, indicating that, looks like he indicated that the Italia Flyers player pulled the shirt of the Elliot Lake player, so we'll see a free kick. Mr. Andrews doesn't like the way that ball was placed, so we'll see that free kick taken again by O'Neill.
A little bit of knowledge maybe for our viewers, Frank. A good way to see whether it's a direct free kick or an indirect free kick. The referee signals a direct free kick, or I should say an indirect free kick, by raising one hand over his head. So if you see that, it signals to everyone that it's an indirect free kick.
Barrow now with that ball, chips it forward. Looks like Massimiliano for the Italian Flyers lets it run out, so we'll see another goal kick. Both teams seem to be somewhat tentative. This is, as we said in the outset of the match, this is it should be an interesting game with both teams vying for that 4th and 5th position in the league, but we haven't seen anything in terms of an offensive threat so far, but it's early in the game. Penn now chipping it forward, giving it up to Sam Conji. Stefanuto on the far side for the Italia Flyers. Long ball. And it looks like number 14 for the Italia Flyers still with possession. Nice shot, left foot by Mr. Let me see if we can find his name here.
Angelo Cicchetto.
Angelo Cicchetto, there we go. Yeah. A nice left footer right into the hands of the goalie, but nonetheless, that's an excellent shot for a left foot. Far side now, parity for Elliot Lake. Chipping it forward to Mike Brown. That's a little bit too far, and as a result, we have a throw-in for Elliot Lake. You can see Mr. Brown walking back. It's Massimiliano now on your screen, the throw-in. Richard Corsi. Finally, it's Danny Ashton back to brother Brian Ashton. Brian on the near side here to Massimiliano. Massimiliano moving forward. Got a little bit of space. Still with the ball in the middle. Takes a shot, but unfortunately it's on the wide side.
Mike, this Elliot Lake team's been in the league approximately, what, 7 or 8 years, and I guess a few of their players travel every day, every game, I should say. These guys are devoted.
Elliot Lake has been in the league approximately about 7 years, and they've been a valued addition to our league. We do play approximately about 6 or 7 league games in Elliot Lake. So what happens is each separate team has to take a turn going to Elliot Lake.
Right. Now in the league, each team plays each other twice. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So each Sudbury team must travel to Elliot Lake at least once.
At least once, and I should say that Elliot Lake have a beautiful facility in Elliot Lake. It's the high school property, and there's also a swimming pool and some nice dressing rooms attached to the soccer field.
It just shows you the dedication of these players who are traveling to Sudbury to play their soccer. It's great.
I should point out that we also have the dedication of the officials from Sudbury. They also have to travel to Elliot Lake and take turns going to Elliot Lake.
Battle on the far side. Looks like Reacha prevails. Brian Ashton, long-reaching ball over here. Rivers is up for it first. Michael Timpano and Mr. O'Neill moving towards the ball. Timpano is there first. Michael Timpano, as we said, has a lot of ball control. He's not the kind of player you want to challenge blindly like that. Italia Flyers now. Stefanuto back to Ashton. Brian Ashton through ball to brother Danny, intercepted there by Parody. Parody trying to get it down to Taco. Taco still with control of that ball, doing battle against Stefanuto. Taco still moving into the box. Looks like he still has control of the ball. I'm sorry. Penn now for the Italia Flyers, and Mr. Andrews has decided that there's an infraction there. A rec free kick for Italia Flyers.
Bit of a tackle from behind there, Frank. I know on previous occasions we've talked about this, Frank, but you really noticed it at that moment when Timpano had the ball, and none of the Elliot Lake players seemed to move into position. You have to learn that when a player with the skills of Timpano has the ball, you must move into space, and a player with his ability is looking for that, and he'll find you. And if you move, he'll find you and give you the ball where you want it. It's a very, very important facet of the game to move off the ball.
I think that's noticeable on Italia Flyers as well when Brian Ashton gets the ball, that Brian puts it into the open space, and some of the younger players are not thinking fast enough and looking for those open spaces.
That's a big part of this game.
Italia Flyers now with the ball. Given away there to Timpano. Papero now with the ball. Nick Papero back over here to Purdon. Purdon with that ball. Back to Timpano. Tries to chip it over here to Taco. Intercepted by Richard Corsi. Sam Cook now. Sam Cook prevails, getting it to Taco. Taco chips it over here nicely to Timpano. Timpano with control in a bit of space. Sends Purdon forward. Purdon still with control of the ball. Oh, unfortunately, just out of bounds.
Number 7 for Elliot Lake. Sorry, Mike. Number 7 for Elliot Lake. Cook. I'd be interested to know on his age, because if I remember right, I used to play against him, and he's still out there and doing a great job out there, actually.
Purdon now with the ball for Elliot Lake, being challenged there by the Italia players. Purdon lets it go out. Fast throw in. Trying to reach Papero against Ashton. Ashton prevails. Mr. Andrews there, you'll see, indicated a handball. Free kick now on the far side to Italia Flyer players. It's Chiquetto over there. Passing it through nicely to number 11. Riccio chipping it in towards the center. Looks like Michael Timpano will be there first. Gets it over here to Purdom for Elliot Lake. Elliot Lake chipping it nicely in front to Michael Timpano. Papero now. Papero heels it back, unfortunately blindly. And Brian Ashton is there. Brian Ashton playing that ball back to the goalie. Far side is Stefanuto now for the Italia Flyers. All kinds of space and time there. Still moving forward, trying to get Riccio, and got ourselves a offside situation. Referee says play on. No. Looks like the play is still on. Didn't hear a whistle there, Joey, so everybody kind of stopped, including myself, but in any event, the play is still on.
Well, the linesman signaled for an offside. The flag went up. It came down quick, and the referee has the power to judge on his own whether it's offside or not. So I guess on that occasion he overruled. He must have seen something that the linesman didn't see. Players have to play the whistle. When I was a young player playing, that's one of the rules that the coach always stressed: play to the whistle.
Rivers. O'Neill over here to Timpano. Looks like Penn for the Italia Flyers, passing it back to Massimiliano. Massimiliano on the inside of Richard Corsi. Looks like there's all kinds of space in this field. Tries to get it through to Rinaldi, unsuccessful. Purdom now for Elliot Lake, chips it to Timpano. Penn, Purdom now. Taco for Elliot Lake. moving up with the ball. Taco still with control of that ball, chips it forward. Unfortunately, can't get it to Purdom. It's Brian Ashton now for the Italia Flyers. Brian, long ball to Riccio on the far side. Chips it back to Stefanuto. Stefanuto for the Italia Flyers moving up. Danny Ashton. Ashton against Parody on that far side. Looks like the ball was rebounded off the Elliot Lake players, so we'll see a throw in for the Italia Flyers.
Some of the Elliot Lake players were telling me before the game that Nick Piparo, their usual goaltender, they're trying something new for the first half. They're putting him up as striker, but they did assure me that in the second half he will be back in his normal position.
Right. Well, as you noticed, Mike, and I'm sure you have, a lot of the play is in the midfield, and there's a lot of give and goes in the midfield, and they're moving into space in the midfield, but it seems to stop at the midfield. There's no real attack. Once they get to that 16-yard box, it just seems to to die for some reason, and both teams are guilty of that.
This seems to be a trend in our league, in the Premier Division, that the play seems to stick to the middle of the field. And many years ago when I played, we played the wings, and we drew the players from out of the center, and we made the space in the middle for the center forward and the other inside forwards. And I think some of the teams would be better off playing the wings and going back to some of the old type of position in soccer.
So with approximately 17 and a half minutes gone in this game, we still have a 0-0 tie. Elliot Lake in the green and white, and Italia Flyers in the blue and white.
Neither team has really created a real offensive opportunity yet.
Barrett now at the ball. Mike Timpano gets in front of it. Richard Corsi over here to the near side to Massimiliano. Massimiliano still with control of that ball. Moving towards the inside, chipping it forward. Mr. Brown is up there. Stefanuto will take a crack at this. Doesn't get good wood, so to speak. It's Ashton, Brian Ashton. He can shoot. Nice shot, scores! A beautiful shot by Danny Ashton. Made that look pretty easy.
Yes, that was a miscue on the United side. They were a little slow getting on top of that ball, but to be fair to them, that ball took a funny bounce, and Stefanuto went up to kick it. Hopefully we got a replay of it, and you'll see how the Elliot Lake players kind of stopped thinking that Stefanuto was going to crack it, and unfortunately for them, he missed it, and young Danny Ashton was there. Great shot, great shot.
Danny Ashton, and you see on the screen there, is moved up from a defensive role, and now is up as looks like a striker for this Italia Flyer team. We're going to see a replay on this. See Mr. Ashton get this ball and take a shot. There's a shot, and you'll see right into the left-hand corner of the net. Danny Ashton is not the kind of player that you want to give those kind of opportunities to. He's incredibly accurate with that ball, especially outside the 18-yard line.
Yes, he had his head up. He saw the goaltender was off his line a bit, and he just, as we say in soccer, he just cracked the ball and right into the far corner. Beautiful shot, nice finish.
Stefanuto now for the Italia Flyers. He's got all kinds of space, chips it forward to Danny Ashton again. It's Conji there. Ashton prevails. Linesman on the far side.
Yes.
Adele Zaire has indicated a handball, I guess.
That was the old Maradona trick, right, Mike? We've heard about that play a few times, I guess.
I think it was more than Maradona used to use that trick years ago, Joe.
Well, it's funny how some things always stick. It's the old Germany-England final in '66, whether it was a goal or wasn't a goal. Then there was another final, whether it was a penalty shot or not, between Germany and Brazil one year. The Maradona handball, that was another one.
Brown up to Chris Binks. A couple of changes made by the LA Lake team. Brian Ashton now with that ball. Chips it forward nicely. Brian with all kinds of skill. You see all kinds of space on the far side. He'll move up with it, chipping it forward to brother Danny Ashton. Parody chips it into the middle. It's Chris Binks now with the ball for LA Lake. Far side there to number 13, Rossetto. Rossetto back to Brown. Brown on the inside to Binks. Lets that ball run through to Purdon. Unfortunately, Purdon gives that ball up to Panella. Horsey now on the near side over here. Massimiliano is free on the sideline. Massimiliano moving towards the middle, chips it forward. Nice pass to Danny Ashton. Ashton unfortunately unable to get that. Goalie decides to kick that ball out, Jody. I don't know. I think he could have grabbed that ball, but he opted to kick it out. It looked like he was still in the box. That might be a dangerous situation if he tries that again.
Yeah, that's a bit, I think, of a little bit of his inexperience coming through, but...
Ashton Richo on the inside, intercepted there by O'Neill, given away to Piniella. Piniella without the ball, takes a shot at it. Italia Flyers taking shots from outside the 18-yard line.
Now I also see the Flyers are starting to use their fullbacks in their attack. They're finding their free fullback, and he's moving in, and they've had one or two opportunities from this young number 6 moving in there, and that is number 6 for the Flyers, is Mike Massimiliano, and he's finding a lot of space, and the Italia Flyers are giving him the ball from defense, and some opportunities coming from there.
Rivers now at the ball, Fairleigh Lake, being bothered there by the Flyers player.
Yeah, I think in the second half you'll see some positional changes by Elliot Lake. For example, Andrew O'Neill, number 4, he's playing a sweeper. Andrew's normal position has been a forward, and he's got great speed and a good shot. So I think you might see guys like Timpano be moved up a little closer to the goal, and guys like Andrew O'Neill if Elliot Lake continue to be down by 1.
Sam Conji now back to Purdon. Purdon on the inside. Taco chipping it forward, intercepted there by Barrett. Near sideline, Conji against Veneto. Oh, Conji goes for that ball. Brian Ashton's up there first. Heads it. Intercepted there by Parody. Parody chips it, loses it to Piniella. Piniella on the far side to Danny Ashton. He's got some space on that far side. Oh, trips there. Looks like this turf might be a bit on the soft side as he tried to negotiate that turn unsuccessfully.
As we said earlier, we had quite the downpour here about 2 hours ago, and the field's in great shape, but it is a bit slick, I guess, out there because there was no one near young Danny.
And it's the goalie, Guy Henry, pounding that ball back towards the center. Chipped forward here, Brian Ashton to Massimiliano. Massimiliano punching that ball up. Brian Ashton. It's Riccio now for the Italia Flyers. Turns to the inside, still with possession of the ball. Stefanuto, Corsi. Enzo now with that ball. Having a little bit of trouble. Chips it forward, trying to get Danny Ashton. Doesn't quite make it through. Richard Corsi. Purdom now for Elliot Lake. Passing it back to Timpano. Timpano back to Burnham. Let's go back to Timpano. Yes, Mike Timpano on the sideline. Tries to get through. Massimiliano does a good job closing down that side. Massimiliano again, still with that ball. Chips it to the inside. Still with possession of that ball. Takes a shot. Ashton. Massimiliano still control. Another shot by Ashton. And Mr. Henry pounces on that one.
There's exactly what I'm talking about. That's Massimiliano, a left fullback, going right up in there and having a great opportunity to score. And that's Elliot Lake's got to stop these fullbacks from coming up.
Piniella with the ball now. All kinds of space in the middle, trying to negotiate the turn. Unsuccessful. Parody intercepted there to Corsi. Corsi on the far side here to Chiquetto. Enzo Badetto now with the ball, chips it back to Corsi. Italia Flyers look having success controlling the ball. Nice shot by Corsi, and that just misses the far post.
I don't know if you sense it, Mike, but it seems like there's an awful lot of confidence on the Flyers team right now. I guess that one goal has really picked things up for them. I guess with their youth, you score a goal, a big goal like that, it does give you confidence.
Well, I think Italia Flyers as they play and get more experience in the Premier Division, are starting to gain more confidence, and they certainly lacked that in the last game they played, but they certainly got it this evening.
Nice cross by Mr. Piniella and a nice header by Barrett, but that lands in the lap of our goalie for Elliot Lake, E. Henry.
Also, the one thing I can tell you is that you never count Elliot Lake out, because they are a real fighting team. They come to play.
Purdom with the ball on the near side now with a little bit of space. Chips it forward, trying to reach Chris Binks. Rebound given away to Corsi. Corsi to Piniella. Corsi still doing battle in the middle. Finally, it's Chris Binks, number 12 for Elliot Lake. He bothered there again by Corsi. Losing that to Piniella. Enzo Badetto now back to Piniella. Tries to get that through, but Timpano's there. Finally, it's Purdom for Elliot Lake. Taco on the inside, back to Timpano on the outside. Nice give and go there. Chips it. Might have given that ball away. Danny Ashton now doing battle. Piniella. Corsi. Chiquetto here on the near side, looking to send Danny Ashton. He does. Battle between Danny Ashton and Rivers is there. I should say parity now. Rivers now hitting that ball. Fence for the Elliot Lake. Look like they're scrambling a bit, guys.
One thing about the Elliot Lake team, Joey, and all the teams in Sudbury will tell you this, they don't give you too much time to settle on the ball. They chase everything. They don't quit. And they're a very hard team to play against.
Yes, like I said, this is the first time I see them this year, but I remember their teams from the past, and that's certainly one of their characteristics is that they never give up, and they come to play. They're dedicated and they play hard.
Andrew O'Neill just ready to tee this ball up, waiting for his players to get into position. We're going to see some line changes now for the Italia Flyers as Lamberti comes on, number 7, left of your screen, and number 15 on the far side of your screen, Drigo coming onto the field for the Italia Flyers. Sam Conji on the far side. Elliot Lake player on that far side, so he can pick up the number to give you his name. Passes it on the inside and Pano. That ball goes a little far to Panella now. Panella to Corsi, Corsi to Lamberti. Lamberti has a shot. This is one player you don't want to give any space to. On the inside to Panella, intercepted nicely by Sam Conji. Timpano back to O'Neill. Back to Timpano. Timpano back to O'Neill one more time and back again to Timpano. Chips it forward. Mike Timpano with that ball. Massimiliano comes in. Mr. Andrews decides that that's an infraction, and Elliot Lake will have the benefit of a indirect free kick.
They came in with a little bit of a reckless abandon, and a player must play the ball or must be trying to play the ball, and I think the referee decided that Massimiliano wasn't exactly interested in the ball on that occasion.
O'Neill gives that ball away to Panella.
Might be interesting to, excuse me, Frank, might be interesting to note that the attempt is what counts. You don't necessarily have to make contact with a player, but if you attempt a jump or attempt a trip or anything like that, you still call it, as a referee, you call it because the attempt was there.
Yeah, quite right, Joe. You have to go for the ball. You have to make an attempt to go for the ball, and if you don't, the referee's going to blow the whistle and give a free kick eventually. Rivers
now for Lake on the near side, tries to get around. Purdom there is intercept. Ray Purdom now still with control of that ball, back to Andrew O'Neill. Andrew O'Neill on the far side to number 5. Parity gives that ball up in the middle. Brian Ashton with some time. Panella through ball nicely to Enzo Bedetto on the far side. Bedetto moving up, chips it forward. Guy Henry is there to intercept. Gets that ball, moves way out of the box. Looks like he may want to come out and play forward along with Nick Papero. I'm not sure who's playing goal anymore. Anyways, it's Richard Corsi doing battle there. And he is given the benefit of the doubt there in a bit of a matchup. And Enzo Bedetto will take the free kick. No, it's Brian Ashton. You can see moving into your screen, chipping it forward. Chiquetto. Richard Corsi with a shot back to Lamberti. Lamberti can shoot. And that's exactly what he does, but he's wide of the near post.
Well, that's one of the luxuries that Vince Panella has. Although this team is very young, they are very talented, and he has talent on the bench. Bringing in a young player like number 7 here, Lamberti, is not really weakening your team. He's got a lot of depth, and it's a nice luxury for a coach to have.
Joe Lamberti, you can see him on your screen there. Sniper for the Italia Flyers. Now with the ball, Rivers to Purdon. Being bothered by Lamberti. Lamberti wins that ball, moving in. And okay, referee indicates that the linesman had her flag, or had his flag up, so we've got the ball was ruled out of touch. Have a throw in. I think that was a pretty close call, but nonetheless, we'll see a throw in. Rivers now with the ball for Elliot Lake. Rivers still with possession, gives Timpano. No, lets the ball run out. Mike Timpano with the throw in. Mr. Andrews has indicated that the throw-in was not done appropriately, and so the Italia Flyers are awarded throw-in. Chiquetto now. Chiquetto with a little bit of time, chips it forward on the far side. Danny Ashton, we know he can crack this ball. Still with possession there. Teeing this ball up. Nobody coming in. Into the box. There's a shot. And it looks like Purdom was there at the last minute to clear that ball. Mike Timpano now in the corner. Challenged there by Lamberti. Lamberti gets in the way of that pass, and as a result, we'll see a throw into the Elliot Lake team.
Nice cross by Danny Ashton there, and I think the young goaltender for the United misread it a bit. He jumped and might have jumped a bit early.
15 minutes left in this first half, and Italia Flyers are up 1-0 against the Elliot Lake United. Brian Ashton there doing battle with Chris Binks. Very dangerous situation.
Yes, when you're a last man back, coach doesn't like you to see it. Doesn't like to see you do that, even if you are a player with Brian Ashton's ability.
Danny Ashton now with that ball. Taco up against him. Danny Ashton chipping it forward. Parody now for Elliot Lake. Turf must be soft on that side. We've seen a few players lose their ground. Taco now with the ball. Elliot Lake still with possession of the ball. The inside to O'Neill. Chipped off of Richard Corsi, and we'll see a throw in.
Good time in our program now to mention about the trivia question, I think. It's 1-0 in the first half for Italia Flyers, but at halftime we'll have our trivia question for all the viewers watching live, so please stay tuned and get your phones ready. The trivia question for tonight at halftime, again, only for the viewers watching this show live.
So we've got a free kick awarded to the Elliot Lake team. O'Neill will do the honors, chips it on the inside to Michael Timpano. Michael Timpano to Purnam, back to Timpano, intercepted there by Corsi. Corsi loses that ball to Rossetto. Binks on the inside of Taco. Taco will take a shot at this. Oh! Harmless looking shot, but that was closer than anticipated by the goalie.
Yes, and the reason that was a tough save was because the ball touched the ground before it got to the goaltender. The ground being a bit wet, the ball skipped. Goaltender had a hard time judging it. Yes, we'll have a replay of this now, and you should see what I'm talking about here. Here's a shot. There's a skip, and good save by the goalkeeper. Well saved.
Stephen Brujic just came off of an excellent save, chips it forward. Chiquetto against Rivers. Rivers prevails. O'Neill now with the ball. Being bothered there a bit, but it's Taco now, Fairleigh Lake in the inside. Drigo coming up. Binks, Timpano now with the ball. Michael Timpano chips it forward to Rossetto, and that's a little bit on the far side, and Stephen Brujic for the Italia Flyers corrals the ball. Enzo Bodetta now on the inside of Corsi. Richard Corsi being bothered by Burden. Rossetto chips it, nobody there for Elliot Lake, so Stephen Brujic will corral this ball. Throws it into play for Enzo Bodetta on the far side. Play to Ashton, a little bit on the too far side, and we've got a throw-in for Elliot Lake.
Yeah, I know we've mentioned the fact about Brian Ashton and the experience he has in the team he's played for. It might be a good time to point out, Mike, that Sudbury has a history of some awful good players making Ontario teams. We can go as far back as Roy Gallo, who made the Ontario team as a center forward. Sav D'Agostino back in the mid-60s. Bob Gonko made an All-Ontario team. So there is quite a history of young players from the Sudbury region doing well with soccer here.
There certainly is, Joe, and not to mention there were a couple of ladies who I happen not to know the names right now that made the Ontario teams as well. But you know, we'd like to see more of our players. We have some good young players up here, and I think they deserve a chance.
It's a bit difficult being this far north, but as I said before, young Brian Ashton has done it, and there's numerous other players that have in the past too, and it's great to see, and it's a bonus to our league that we can come up with such caliber players from up here.
Ashton now, Danny Ashton to Enzo Bodetta on the far side. Enzo still with that ball, being challenged there by a couple of Elliot Lake players, and gives it up finally.
A young Flyer player injured there. I think he just got a little nip on the ankle, it looks like, Frank. I'm not sure who it is right now.
It's Danny Ashton.
Danny Ashton, and it looks like he's holding his wrist, so maybe when he fell to the ground, he broke the fall with his wrist in it.
One proven place that you can see the quality of our players is in the Crusoe International Soccer Tournament, and Like, we have some top teams come up this year, Woodbridge, London Portuguese, and two Sudbury teams ended up in the final and really deserved to be in the final. There was no fluke that they were in the finals.
Great.
Richard Corsi now, referee has indicated an infraction against the Italia Flyers, so we'll have a free kick for Elliot Lake. See Mr. Bernie Andrews indicating where he wants the ball position. It's Sam Conji now on the far side to Angarin. Intercepted there by Drigo, number 15 for the Italia Flyers, and that's out of bounds as well.
And I see Nick Papero on the bench there now, Frank. He's got his goaltending outfit on, so I'm sure they'll carry it through with that. Looks like there's about 9 minutes left in the half. I'm sure they'll carry through with that change, and they've given this young goaltender a chance, and he's played well. That one goal was a great shot by Danny Ashton.
Danny Ashton now to Enzo Barreto on the inside. Panella chips it on this side. Corsi. Lombardi on the near side, puts Joe Lombardi through. Nice pass on the inside to Chiquetto. Chiquetto's got Ashton, can't see him, didn't see him, takes a shot off of Mr. Purdom, but it looks like referee has indicated a goal kick for the Elliot Lake players. You can see there Chiquetto taking a nice shot and Mr. Purdom getting in front of that ball.
It's unfortunate that young Chiquetto was turned around away from from Danny Ashton, because Danny Ashton was clear as a bird, as they say, and just a little through ball, and Danny Ashton was in one-on-one against the goaltender. Here's that goaltending change we've been talking about, and it's just happening at the about the 38-minute mark of the first half instead of in the second half. But,
so Mr. Papero's stint as a striker is short-lived, and understandably so. They're down 1 goal, and needless to say, Elliot Lake does not want to give this game up if at all possible.
I'm really impressed with this move that Vince Pinella has made. I know I'm not coaching, but if I was coaching, I would have had Brian Ashton playing sweeper all season long, Mike. I know you've watched the Flyers play a lot more than I have, and I think that for a team this young, that is the ideal position for him, as long as he plays it within his limitations.
Well, you do. You need the guy with the experience as the sweeper. He's able to distribute the ball. He's able to see the play in front of him. I think another thing that Italia Flyers should be doing more of. They got a guy like Joe Lamberti on the wing, and the guy's got speed and talent, and you got to use guys like him.
Brian Ashton with that ball, kicking it back to Brujic, the goalie. Stefan Brujic pumps that ball up. Lombardi up against Purdom. Both of them missed the ball. It's Mike Timpano now, intercepted nicely by Panella. Panella trying to put Chiquetto through, does. Chiquetto now trying to turn the corner on O'Neill, but Andrew O'Neill is there first. He'll put this ball back into place, gives it up to Panella. Panella to Danny Ashton, I should say. A couple of miscues there, but Danny Ashton prevails. Loses it to O'Neill. O'Neill chips it forward to Purdom. Ray Purdom now with the ball for Elliot Lake, trying to settle things down. It's Andrew O'Neill for Elliot Lake, chips it forward, back to Purdom, trying to get Chris Binks, but Massimiliano's there, cranks that ball out of play. So with approximately 10 minutes, I should say 5.5 minutes left, we still have a 1-0 game in favor of the Italia Flyers. Far side now, Rosetto against, I think that was Penn, but anyways, Brian Ashton. Stefanuto now for the Italia Flyers. Bothered there by Brown. Stefanuto still with the ball, chips it to Corsi. Corsi trying to turn, unsuccessful. Rosetto now for the Elliot Lake. He'll take a shot at this. Right into Brujic though. Nice crack with the left foot, but angle was a little tough for him.
Yeah, a little far away, and the goaltender, good hands, no rebound, but it's good to see Elliot Lake taking some shots, because if they could tie this game up before the half, it would be a great boost for them, and the Flyers, again being a young team, could be demoralized, but
Danny Ashton unfortunately doesn't get what he wants to in terms of a pass over to Enzo Bediro on the far side, and as a result we'll have a throw-in for Elliot Lake.
I think this is noticeable with Elliot Lake. They got a mixture of young and older players, and Italia Flyers have quite a young team. They got lots of speed, lots of energy, and you know, they got to use that to their advantage.
Corsi now gets his foot on that ball, but that's out of play as well.
Well, there's one of those balls that you might have liked to seen on the wing, Mike. One a bit far. Yeah, the old-fashioned play used to be a lot of balls on the wing, and I agree with you, Mike. It really opens up the game. We hear of all new systems that they play in Europe, but no matter what the system is, a lot of the play is on the wing. They play with 4 or 5 midfielders now as opposed to 2 in the old days, but still the ball seems to go to the wing. And we don't see enough of that, I don't think, in our league up here.
No, there's a concentration in the center of the field, and you know, you get players like Brian Ashton in the middle, and the middle is controlled all the time, whereas if you're using your wing, you're pulling the players out of the center. Someone's got to go for the winger, and then you're opening up a gap in the center.
You're opening up the spaces, exactly.
Enzo Bodetto here on the near side of Ashton. Ashton lets a run to Joey Lamberti. Lamberti now with this ball takes a turn. He'll take a crack at this. Chips it forward. Nice shot. Unfortunately, Mr. Chiquetto just failed to get his foot on it. Excellent effort by Lamberti for Chiquetto.
You know, there's an example of the ball being let go by Danny Ashton to Lamberti. Lamberti took it to the corner, swung it across, and you know, Elliot Lake were fortunate that time.
Yeah, good opportunity by playing the ball on the wing like that. The Elliot Lake team got caught, and that's one of the rare times in the game tonight that they have been caught. They were left with 2 defenders against 3 of the Flyers, and they were lucky to come away with not being scored on that occasion.
Horsey now, Lamberti, Joe Lamberti, take this ball to the outside to Ashton. Ashton tries to turn it to the inside, and unfortunately gives that ball up to the Elliot Lake player. Purdon losing it to Corsi. Back to O'Neill now. Andrew O'Neill with that ball. Loses that to Lamberti. Lamberti still with control of that ball. Corsi tries to put it through to Ashton, a little bit on the far side, so it's Sam Conji now for the Elliot Lake. He'll take a stab at this. Lamberti now with that ball, bit of a miscue there by Neal. Lamberti hits it off the back, unfortunately, of Danny Ashton, and Purdon will try one more time to O'Neill. Neal turning to the inside. Andrew O'Neill now to you, back to you there, still with control of the ball. Tries to switch it on the far side to Sam Cook. Brian Ashton is there. He pumps it back in. Flyers content to continue the pressure on the Elliot Lake team. Sam Conji with the ball. Almost gave it up to Danny Ashton, but Papero is there first. Massimiliano on the inside. Purdom. Campano now trying to gain control of that ball. Being bothered by Panella. Back to O'Neill. Neal chipping it far over here to Taco, but that ball is out of bounds. You'll see Taco retrieve it, and Mr. Brian Ashton will take the throw in. And that ball goes back to their goalie, Stefan Brucek. Approximately a minute or so, subject to the referee's decision around any additional injury time left in this first half. Italia Flyers still in front. Brian Ashton in the center. Chiquetto now with that ball. Still with possession of that ball.
It's a handball there, Frank. Player touched the ball with his hand.
And Bernie Andrews has awarded Elliot Lake a free kick.
Again, all the viewers watching live, don't forget your trivia question at halftime. The phone number will appear on the screen, I think, and we're getting some good response to that, so keep it coming.
Stefanuto to Ashton. Ashton chipping it forward nicely to Enzo Bodetto on the far side. Chiquetto moves in the middle. Chiquetto's going up for this ball and gets a piece of it, but unfortunately is not able to direct it into the net. And Nick Papero, number 22, the goalie for Elliot Lake, walks this ball back. You see Joe Lamberti there with an effort. And the defenseman, Mr. Andrew O'Neill, will take this kick. You can indicate he's signaling his team where he wants them. And surveying the situation for this last few seconds of the first half. Cranks that ball in the middle to Chris Binks. Cranks is able to keep it in play. Michael Timpano looking for a long ball to Mr. Brown on the far side. Mike Brown with that ball now, turning to the inside. Rosetto now chips it forward. This is high ball in the box, but that goes harmlessly out of the way, and There is the end of the first half. After 45 minutes of play, we have the Italia Flyers 1 and Elliot Lake United 0. We'll be back right after these messages.
The Royal Canadian Legion is a Canadian institution. They are everyday Canadians, helping all Canadians. The Royal Canadian Legion. Service is our way of life.
We at Ducks Unlimited believe that children are our most valuable resource. That's why we made a long-term commitment to environmental education with programs such as Greenwing. It's a national initiative designed to develop appreciation for wildlife. You see, we believe the world we live in is still a wonderful place, and we're working hard to keep it that way. Ducks Unlimited. We're more than ducks. We're Canada's #1 conservation company. For more information, call 1-800-665-DUCK.
Just look at her. What a difference. Till a few months ago, we thought kidney dialysis was her only chance. But then a kidney donor was found. Someone took the time to sign a donor card and tell their family their wishes. Please, discuss organ donation with your family and sign a donor card today. You'll give someone like Michelle a second chance.
This message was brought to you by the Kidney Foundation of Canada and your local station.
They had told me before the surgery that I probably would not ever be able to speak again. I'll tell you, there's nothing like a little cancer to help you get your priorities straight. And it gives you a very, very heightened appreciation of other people and other people's problems. It's just as if you have a chance to start all over again.
Is there someone you can't live without?
Yeah, I was.
Someone you can just shove.
Ready? Okay, Frank, here's the trivia question for tonight, and you can see it on your screen. The question is, what is the name of the cup awarded to the Premier Division men's soccer champions? And if you know the answer to this question, call the number on your screen, 560-1505, and you could win a prize from Umbro. The question again, what is the name of the cup awarded to the Premier Division men's soccer championships? And we'll have the answer for you momentarily. Thank you.
Now that I'm far away, it doesn't seem to me to be such a pain to have you hanging off my ankle like some kind of ball and chain. You can be my Yoko Ono. You can follow me wherever I go. Be my Yoko. Be my Yoko. Oh no. Our life is one big fun. Oh no, here we go as Yoko sings fun. I know that when I say this, I may be stepping on pins and needles. But I don't like all these people slagging her for breaking up the Beatles. Don't blame it on Yoki. I mean, if I was John and you were Yoko, I would gladly give up musical genius just to have you as my very own personal Venus. You can be my Yoko. You can follow me wherever I go. Be my Yoko. Be my Yoko Ono. Be my Yoko Ono. Be my Yoko Ono. Whoa, whoa.
No, no, viene utile questa. Questo è d'inverno, perciò guarda grande.
I can see it, you were right about this place. I can make a perfect likeness of your body if I trace. I can hold you till you turn out the light, and I can't see. Till tomorrow, if you could, would you please turn down the radio so we can speak? I put my hands around your neck. You wrap your arms around me. I put my hands around your neck. You wrap your arms around me. I put my hands around your neck. You wrap your arms around me. I put my hands around your neck. You wrap your arms around me. I regret every time I raise my voice, and it wouldn't be that bright of me to say I had no choice. I can kiss your eyes, your hair, your neck, till we forget. I can see you right about this place. I can make perfect likeness of.
Okay, Frank, it looks like we have a winner for our question tonight. And again, the question was, what is the name of the cup awarded to the Premier Division Sudbury Men's Soccer Champions? And the answer, as you see on your screen, is the Anderson Cup. And we congratulate Russ Curry of Sudbury for getting that. And Russ Curry from Sudbury will be getting some prizes from Umbro. Thanks again for your participation, everyone.
When I was born, they looked at me and said, what a good boy, what a smart boy, what a strong boy. And when you were born, They look at you and say, what a good girl, what a smart girl, what a pretty girl. Got these chains hanging around our necks, people want to strangle us with them before we take our first breath. Afraid of change, afraid of staying the same. When temptation calls, we just look away. This name is the hair shirt I wear. This hair shirt is woven from your brown hair. This song is the cross that I bear. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Be with me tonight. I know that it isn't right, but be with me tonight. Go to school, I write exams. If I pass, if I fail, if I drop out, does anyone give a damn? And if they do, they'll soon forget, 'cause it won't take much for me to show my life ain't over yet. Wake up scared, I wake up strange, I wake up wondering if anything in my life is ever gonna change. Me tonight, I couldn't tell you I was wrong. Chickened out, grabbed a pen and a paper, sat down and I wrote this song. I couldn't tell you that you were right, so instead I looked in the mirror, I watched TV, laid awake all night. We've got these chains hanging around our necks, people want to strangle us with them before we take our first breath. Afraid of change, afraid of staying the same when temptation calls. Yeah, oh, this name is the hair shirt I wear, and this hair shirt is woven from, it's woven from, it's woven from hair. This song is the cross that I bear. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Be with me tonight. When I was born, they looked at me and said, what a good boy, what a smart boy.
The Royal Canadian Legion is a Canadian institution.
Yes, we have cookies, chocolate chips. You like chocolate chips?
They are everyday Canadians, helping all Canadians. The Royal Canadian Legion. Service is our way of life.
We at Ducks Unlimited believe that children are our most valuable resource. That's why we made a long-term commitment to environmental education with programs such as Greenwing. It's a national initiative designed to develop appreciation for wildlife. You see, we believe the world we live in is still a wonderful place, and we're working hard to keep it that way. Ducks Unlimited. We're more than ducks. We're Canada's #1 conservation company. For more information, call 1-800-665-DUCK.
Just look at her. What a difference. Till a few months ago, we thought kidney dialysis was her only chance. But then a kidney donor was found. Someone took the time to sign a donor card and tell their family their wishes. Please, discuss organ donation with your family and sign a donor card today. You'll give someone like Michelle a second chance.
This message was brought to you by the Kidney Foundation of Canada and your local station.
They had told me before the surgery that I probably would not ever be able to speak again. I'll tell you, there's nothing like a little cancer to help you get your priorities straight. And it gives you a very, very heightened appreciation of other people and other people's problems. It's just as if you have a chance to start all over again.
We'd like to welcome our viewers back to second half action here at Queens Athletic Field. We're live. This is Frank Malvasso along with Mike Dowling and Joe Presta, bringing you play-by-play and live play, we should say, of the Senior Men's Soccer League. Joey, maybe we can just do a wrap-up of what happened in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, Frank. And the second half has just started. We're into it about 15 seconds, but it's a 1-0 game. The Flyers are leading 1-0 thanks to a lovely goal by young Danny Ashton in about the 18-minute mark. A miscue by the Elliot Lake defense caused by actually a miskick from the Flyer player, and the ball dropped onto Danny Ashton's foot. And one shot, great shot into the top corner of the net. And other than that, it's been a pretty even game.
So, as you can see on your screen there, Joe Lombardi streaking up the left side, almost got it past Nick Papero, but Nick was there, closed down that corner. Brian Ashton now on the near side. Eric trying to hold on to that ball, able to keep it in bounds, chips it forward. Ganji now up for that ball. Michael Campano tries to get it to Mr. Brown, but that ball's a little bit too far, so we'll have a throw-in for the Italia Flyers.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Frank, it's a pretty even game. Little disappointed, though, in the United team, the Elliot Lake United team. They seem to be a little bit flat in the last 10 minutes of the first half. That is very, very uncharacteristic of the Elliot Lake teams. I'm sure they're going to come out with a much different effort in the second half.
Rosetto for Elliot Lake, punching that ball forward, but Stefan Brucic is there. Stefan cranks this ball up into the center of the field. Sam Conji now for Elliot Lake, chips it up. Brown now, that comes off his arm, unfortunately, so Elliot Lake will have to give the ball up to the Italia Flyers. Sam Conji there is able to get the ball. Mike Timpano back to O'Neill. Andrew O'Neill gives that to Enzo Bonzetto. Chip through to Corsi. Richard Corsi with a shot. Scores! Richard Corsi, a beautiful shot.
What a great opportunist for young Corsi. A little bit of misplay on the United defense, and it really cost them. They were a little too lackadaisical back there. There was three of them just waiting to see which one of them was going to clear the ball. We're going to see a replay on this, Frank, and you'll see what I'm talking about here.
Bit of a miscue, and then Richard Corsi gets into the box, takes a shot. You see that ball go up and then back down over Nick Papero. Beautiful shot by number 19, Richard Corsi.
Yeah, and we didn't get it on the replay, but earlier on there was three passes made by the defense, by the Elliot Lake defense, and they were very lackadaisical, and they just got caught being a little too sweet out there, I think, Mike is.
Well, you got to realize the job of defense is to get the ball out of your end, and you don't have to be fancy. You got to get it out of your end, and unfortunately they gave up the ball.
Early in the second half, that's going to be quite the test for them now to come back from a 2-goal deficit.
Elliot Lake, Mr. Purnam on the far side, in the center to Timpano back, chip on the far side there to back to Purnam. Looks like he slips and ball goes out of play. Of a throw-in now for the Flyers, all the way back to Brian Ashton. Playing sweeper this game for the Italia Flyers. Ball looks like it might be a little bit on the long side, and unfortunately the Elliot Lake team will get the throw-in. Chris Binks now for the Elliot Lake United, turns to the inside, passes it nicely to Mike Timpano. Mike Timpano being challenged by Brian Ashton, and we'll see a corner kick. No, I guess a goal kick. They indicated that that ball came off Mr. Timpano, so a goal kick has been awarded to the Italia Flyers team. Italia Flyers 2-0 against Elliot Lake United, 49 minutes into this game. Joel Purdom with that ball now. I should say Ray Purdom with that ball. Far side, Drigo doing battle against Rossetto. Drigo pumps it in towards the center. Enzo Bedetto now for the Italia Flyers, loses it to Mr. Brown. Barrett take a shot at Brown, still with control of the ball. Elliot Lake trying to get back in this game. Slips on the wet turf, still with control of that ball. Referee finally decides that Mr. Brown, there on your screen, touched it with his hand and has awarded a free kick to the Italia Flyers.
I think the actual call there, Frank, was the obstruction. He almost sat on the ball, and that's obstructing.
Riccio now. Looks like it's the other Lake player here. Parody against Riccio. Riccio doing well to battle against that center defenseman. Looks like the Italia Flyers are pumped up for this game. Throw back to Nick Papero. Should mention that although Nick got beat on that shot, Nick is one of the premier goalies in this league. And it just goes to say as to the excellence of that shot by Richard Corsi.
He was caught a bit flat-footed on it, but you can't blame the goaltender when you have three of your defensemen. We have a player hurt out there, Frank, and I can't see who it is right now. But three of your defensemen have the ball and have the opportunity to clear it, and they don't. Well, your goaltender kind of gets caught flat-footed, and that's what happened there. It was definitely a defensive error on Elliot Lake's part.
Well, you're right, Joe. You know, Elliot Lake had all the time in the world to clear that ball out. There were three Elliot Lake players. They had control of the ball, miscued, and, you know, of course he took the ball well. And you're right, Nick Papero might have been a little flat-footed on his line, but when you got a guy 10 yards from you,
right,
the goaltender doesn't have too much of a chance, and the three defensemen were just standing there looking at him.
Right, it was a one-on-one, and the Flyer player made good.
The player that was on the ground was Chris Biggs for Elliot Lake, but he looks like he's recovered and rubbing his stomach a little bit there, but he looks like he's okay, getting some encouragement from his teammate Mike Timpano. And we'll see this ball played by a drop ball, actually.
Yeah, the play was stopped because of an injury. When the play is stopped because of an injury, the game is restarted by a drop ball between two opposing players.
We should add that they can't make contact, Joey, until that ball hits the ground. So you'll see a bit of a bounce, and then you'll see two players literally go at this ball. For those that are not familiar with this set play, see Purdom taking a bit of a whack at it. Joe Lamberti leaving it for him. It's Massimiliano now. Try to get this game back into full swing. Massimiliano back to Brian Ashton. Brian going back for that ball. Challenged there a bit by the Henry. Brian Ashton back again with that ball. Bit of a move to the outside, chips it forward. O'Neill. Parody loses it to Drigo. Drigo pumps it forward to Chiquetto. Corsi now. Parody. Finally, it's Riccio for the Italia Flyers. Tries to get it into Pennell, I should say. But number 21 gets it out to Purdon. Purdon just chips that ball up. Seen a lot of first touch contact with this ball here, but nobody really gaining control of the play. Finally, it bounces out of play, so we'll have a free throw-in, or just a throw-in, I should say, to the Italia Flyers. Massimiliano to Joe Lamberti. Lamberti on the far side, still with control of that ball on the sideline. See very little space to move with, but he's still with control of that ball. Finally, Mr. Kanji decides he's had enough of that and finally makes some contact.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a miscue on the Elliot Lake part too, because the Flyer player was nowhere near the goal. He was nowhere in danger of scoring, and by committing the foul, you've given the player a free kick and a free cross, almost as a corner kick. It's not a wise play on the Elliot Lake part, but it shows a bit of frustration. I've been really impressed with the Elliot Lake midfield. I'm just a little curious as they don't seem to get their forwards into play as much as they should, I think. And I don't know if you see that, Mike, but they don't really create that many opportunities up front, and their forwards don't seem to get into the game. But the midfield controls the ball well, but their attack is kind of limited.
Well, you're right. I think you got to get guys up the middle like Timpano, and maybe switch Andrew O'Neill up from sweeper and put him up in the forward line. The 2 goals down, it would be better to put a guy like Mike Brown back on sweeper move the guy up with the speed like Andrew O'Neill out front with Timpano.
Right. Well, we don't like to second guess the coaching, but from up here, this is how we see the game. And as I said, the ball is being controlled in the midfield, but very limited action up front for the Elliot Lake forwards. And if they're going to get back into this game, they have to change that.
Yeah, right.
Massimiliano now from Riccio. Riccio back to Massimiliano. On the inside to Corsi. Richard Corsi still with control of that ball, trying to move into the box. Purdom comes at him. Referee has indicated, let's see what he's indicated here. Looks like it's a free kick in favor of the Flyers.
Somebody was holding a shirt out there, Frank. Someone was holding a shirt and obstructing, so this is a free kick for the Flyers.
This could be a dangerous situation. As you can see, Brian Ashton conferring with his players there. Richard Corsi standing in front of the ball as they decide what they're going to do with this ball. It's about 6 yards outside the box. Needless to say, both Lombardi and Ashton can hit this ball. I think we should anticipate a shot here, and Brian Ashton takes a crack. That comes off the line. Elliot Lake's able to clear it wide. It's Pinella now. Pinella chips it to the far side. Enzo Bedetto. Nice play by Mike Brown to get a hold of that ball first. Fortunately, it's a throw-in for Flyers. Barrett, Pinella. Pinella with a little bit of time. Elliot Lake seems to be backing off. Finally, Barrett chips it in towards the center. Purdom in the middle. Henry now trying to get it to Taco, intercepted by Drigo. Ray Purdom on the far side for Elliot Lake, chips it forward. Brian Ashton is there, and he's going to protect this ball and lets it run to the goalie, Stephen Brujic. Nice throw over here to Riccio. Riccio with that ball. Kanji now, a bit of a battle there as two players. A little bit of frustration showing, and finally Mr. Bernie Andrews says enough of this and awards a free kick to Elliot Lake. On the inside now. Gave that ball away, unfortunately, so we've got the Kanji now for Elliot Lake. And that ball, unfortunately, goes out of bounds as well.
Well, we have a minute there, Mike. I done a little bit of homework at halftime while you were out getting the coffee, and the young lady that made the All-Ontario team in Sudbury was a young girl by the name of Beatrice Wuthridge, and I believe it was the under 15 or under 16 team that she made All-Ontario. So I've seen her play, an excellent player, and congratulations to her also for making an Ontario team. This was a few years back. Also, while we're mentioning the ladies, we should mention that we have mentioned on previous shows about the enthusiasm that soccer is growing with here in the Sudbury region, and ladies are no exception. We have 11 senior ladies teams in the Ladies League, and very competitive, lots of enthusiasm out there. They play on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Dalkey-Dozy. And we also have the Suburnia Soccer League that runs a under-19 ladies league. So the ladies are getting into the action also here in Sudbury.
Brian Ashton with a far-reaching ball over here to Enzo Bedetto, but that's intercepted by Brown. Slipping on the wet turf, still with control of the ball. Looks like he may have given it up to Pinella. Pinella now moving into the box, crosses it, a nice cross. Kanji does a good job off the seat of his pants to clear that ball inside the 6-yard box. Mike Timpano now with the ball. Nice pass to the inside. Back to Mike Timpano. Timpano tries to get it to Brown, but intercepted nicely by Massimiliano. Massimiliano to the inside, gives that away to Kanji. I'm sorry, to Andrew O'Neill. Still moving forward that ball. Chips it forward over here in the near side. Stephen Brujic comes out. A nice save by Stephen to get in front of that ball as an effort was made by by Vince Ngaran, number 21 for Elliot Lake, but Stephen Brujic was on the spot to cut down the angle.
Yes, that's a good offensive chance for Elliot Lake, and it was created by young Andrew O'Neill moving up, as you said, Mike, earlier. They have to do this if they want to get back into this game. Being down 2-0, they have to score some goals.
Mike Timpano now for Elliot Lake taking his corner kick, as you can see on your screen. Here's an opportunity for Elliot Lake to see if they can get back in this game. Brujic gets his hand on the ball, and it's Elliot Lake trying to prevail. Got ourselves another infraction, and this one is awarded in favor of Elliot Lake, so we will have a free kick just approximately a yard or so at the corner of the box. Michael Timpano setting up his team. And again, this might be an opportunity for Elliot Lake. You can see they're chipping. Timpano with a shot. Oh, off the crossbar. And we've got ourselves a corner kick.
Yeah, the goaltender had to play that. He could not take a chance. It might have hit the crossbar. It might have gone in. That was a good shot by Mike Timpano. He didn't wait for the wall to set up. He just looked, knew what he was doing, and good play on both parts. Goaltender was alert also.
Now Mike Timpano, as you can see, going back and taking the corner kick on the far side. And we'll see if Elliot Lake can capitalize. They've had 2 or 3 opportunities in the form of a corner kick and a free kick just outside the box. They need this to get back in the game. A chip on the inside, nice chip to center, and unfortunately that's a little bit on the light side. Andrew O'Neill takes a crack at it, but it's wide of the net, as you can see. And so we'll have a goal kick here for Stephen Brujic. Andrew O'Neill taking a shot, but wide as he walks back towards the center of the field.
It looks like Elliot Lake is trying to get back into this game, Mike. That's 2 or 3 good offensive chances they've had in the last couple of minutes.
Well, as I said before, you know, you're 2 goals down, no point in going on defense. And you have to, you've seen Andrew O'Neill make a run up from his sweeper position and trying to connect up with Timpano and guys like Mike Brown, and that's what you got to do when you get the opportunity.
Brian Ashton now at the ball. I wouldn't let this guy come into your end, and Brian's got control of that ball with Mike Brown on his back. Panella. Enzo Bedetto trying to get to Massimiliano. He does. Massimiliano still with control of that ball on the inside to Panella. Panella chips it forward nicely to Richard Corsi. Coming down the sideline. Richard Corsi with an opportunity here. Falls on the turf a bit. No, referee Bernie Andrew decides that he was somehow obstructed, and so we'll see a free kick awarded to Italia Flyers.
It was a slight trip there on the Flyer player there.
I think it might have been 50% turf there a bit. Anyways, Enzo Bedetto will take this free kick. We'll see if the Italia Flyers can capitalize in the box. Chiquetta with a shot, but it's right into Nick Papero's hands. Nick Papero trying to capitalize on a long ball, but that may go a little bit too far. It does, and so Brian Ashton, as you can see over there, will retrieve that ball, and we'll have a throw-in here for the Italia Flyers. Approximately 61.5 minutes gone in this game, and it's the Italia Flyers enjoying a 2-0 lead against Elliot Lake. Should remind you that the Italia Flyers are in blue and white in your screen, and the Elliot Lake United is in green and white. Timpano now with that ball. Mike Timpano chips it nicely to Henry. Takes a crack at it, but unfortunately can't get a good wood on that ball. See Parody take a shot at it, but that one's a little bit on the wide side, and it looks like Elliot Lake, Joe and Mike are trying to get back in this game, doing everything they can to get in there.
This is more of the Elliot Lake team that I remember. They come at you and they play hard and fast, but it took them 2 goals to wake up, and I don't know if they can do it, but I would not count them out. They sure can run, and they are aggressive and enthusiastic, and they want to tie it up if at all possible.
Yeah, as you know, the old point system used to be 2 points for a win, 1 for a tie. Now with the new FIFA rules, which came in last year, is 3 points for a win.
So is that the rules you have here, Mike?
This is the rules that were put in 1996. Actually, it came in, was brought out by FIFA late in 1995, actually halfway through our season. So it is on a 3 points for a win system now.
Bedetto trying to reach Lombardi, and he gets it through. Joe Lombardi, he'll take a shot at this one. He does on the inside, but Mr. Rivers is there to intercept for Elliot Lake. It's Purdom now on the inside over here to Henry. Henry chips it forward to Taco on that far side. Taco putting it through to Purdom. Purdom still with control of that ball on the outside. Brian Ashton matching up. Tries to keep it in. Ray Purdom prevails, looking towards the move the inside. He's blocked out a bit there. And Bernie Andrew has awarded, let's see what he's done here. He's pointing in a couple of directions, Joe.
Well, it's an obstruction call, and he had his arm up, and now he's gonna indicate to the United players where he wants the free kick taken. But his arm was up over his head, and it's inside the area, but it's a 2-man or indirect free kick, which means that the ball cannot be scored directly from the kick. It's got to be touched by another player.
So they're just outside the box on the far side, as you can see, and this ball should come into the box, and we'll see a couple of players at the very least going up for this ball. Challenging, there's the shot. Brian Ashton is there first. As a result, we'll see a corner kick for Elliot Lake.
And you had all the Elliot Lake United players up except for the one defender staying back. So obviously, and for good reason, they moved everybody up to try and get a goal that will get them back into this game. While the ball is out and we've got some time, we should also mention that there was a Sobernia All-Star team. Teams took part in a tournament on the weekend, and we have some of the results here, and I'll maybe read some of them out to you. The under-19 mixed, the gold went to the Sobernia Wildcats, the silver went to the Pembroke Jaguars, and the bronze went to the Deep River Silver Bullets. Under the under-19 girls, the gold went to Lincoln, silver went to Sobernia Wildcats, and the bronze went to Valley East Medical Science Lab. The under-15 mixed, we had the gold going to Aurelia Canada Woods, the silver going to Sobernia Wildcats, and the bronze going to Concordia. Under-13 mixed, we had the gold going to North Bay Strikers, the silver to Sobernia Wildcats, the bronze to Concordia. Under-13 girls, Sobernia Wildcats got the gold, North Mississauga the silver, and Sobernia Wildcats the under-13. So congratulations to Sobernia on a nice tournament on the weekend. And the committee for the tournament was Gail Arbick, Wayne Robb, Steve McKelsley, is that it, Mike?
Yep. McKeckley, Christian Menifee, and Fadiar Cook. So again, congratulations to all the people involved.
Massimiliano now with the ball intercepted by Mike Timpano. It's O'Neill now trying to put Timpano through, but that's unfortunately behind him. It's Massimiliano was able to recoup it for the Italia Flyers, moving up with all kinds of space. He'll move forward, tries to get it through to Chiquetto. Does back to, no, we've got an infraction against Elliot Lake, so the Italia Flyers team will set up. And Brian Ashton will take a free fast kick to Richard Corsi. Or I'm sorry, Massimiliano. It's Kanji now. Is able to strip that ball away from Massimiliano. Brian Ashton moving up. He can hit this ball. Takes a chip on the inside. This is dangerous. Chiquetto tries to get his foot on the ball, but Nick Papero is there to grab it.
Good quick hands by the goaltender there. That was a very dangerous ball by Brian Ashton, and could have easily been 3-0.
Massimiliano now. Brown with his ball. Timpano, Mike Timpano seeing a lot of the action in the midfield, but gives up that ball to Stephen Brujic. And he'll get that one out to Danny Ashton, playing the far side now for Italia Flyers. Tries to get that to Penn, but it's intercepted by Purdom from Elliot Lake. Elliot Lake trying to get into this game. Ball on the inside. Brian Ashton prevails, coming through with that ball. Still with possession against a couple of Elliot Lake players, and finally has to kick it out of bounds. Andrew O'Neill, as you see, Brian Ashton moving back into the play. Brown now with the ball, number 7 for Elliot Lake, chips it in the center. That's going to the far side to Ray Purdom against Stephen Brujic. Ray Purdom was able to hold on to it. No, not, unfortunately. Just can't keep that ball in.
That was a great idea and a great play by Brown there to toss the ball way over to the right wing, and it was just inches, but that was the type of play that Mike was referring to in the first half, and Elliot Lake should do a bit more of that because it really spreads the young Flyer defense out. And unfortunately, Purdom couldn't get to that ball, but it's the right idea.
Stephen Brujic now to Ashton, intercepted nicely by Parody. Purdom on the inside to Taco. Rigo there for Italia Flyers, still with control of that ball. Gives it nicely to Chiquetto. Chiquetto's trying to move it over to Bedetto, but it's intercepted by Brown. Brown back to his goalie, Nick Papero. And Nick will tee this one up. Ball on the inside to Taco. Taco turns with that ball, chips it nicely to O'Neill. O'Neill looking for Timpano. Unfortunately, Massimiliano is there to intercept. And he gives it away to Brown. Brown with possession of that ball now fairly late. Still moving towards the center. Pumps it out. Chip on the inside, and that's given away to Barrett for the Italia Flyers. On the far side, Ray Purdom now for the Elliot Lake. He'll take a crack at this, and unfortunately that ball's out of play. I just wanted to say, as you mentioned, the Sobernia All-Star team, I had the privilege of coaching the girls under 12 and under 13, and I just wanted to say a job well done for all those young ladies I have the, as I said, privilege of being involved with. So it's Stephen Brujic now. He'll take a crack at this, and it's up into the center of the field. Sam Brown's up for it, gets it to O'Neill. He pumps it forward. Unfortunately, that looks like it might be a little bit on the far side. Mike Timpano is not able to hold it in. And we'll see a goal kick here for the Italia Flyers. Approximately 70 minutes gone in this game, and about 25, I should say, yeah, 20 minutes left. Valley Lake is going to do something. They'll have to do it very quickly. It's Chiquetto now for Flyers. Richard Corsi with this ball. Richard Corsi still with the ball, turns nicely, all kinds of time now, chips it towards the center, but gives it away. Bit of a miscue, goes to Bedetto now for the Flyers. And Sam Brown gets his foot on that ball, and that is finally out of play. And we will see a goal kick here for Elliot Lake United.
Yeah, what we're seeing now is a lot of attacking by the Elliot Lake team, and of course you get the, when that happens, the other team gets the opportunity to counterattack, and the Flyers, being as quick as they are, and are sometimes will take advantage of it. So it's that type of a game. It's that Mickey Mouse thing where one team attacks, and then the other team just counterattacks.
O'Neill back to Kanji now. It's Sam Kanji with the ball, chips it forward. Far side, Parody is up there. Parody now for Elliot Lake will get that ball, pumps it in the center, gives it away to Penn. Italia Flyers with that ball now, moving on the outside. Joe Lombardi, he may take a crack, chips it nicely in the center. Chiquetto's up there. Chris Binks now back for Elliot Lake, having moved back into what appears to be one of the defender roles for Elliot Lake. Chris normally a striker for the team. Ray Purdom now chipping it back. And Joe Lombardi gets his ball, and he gives it away to Sam Kanji. Sam Kanji being bumped a bit there by Lombardi, and so he'll get the free kick. Ray Purdom now with this ball, long one to the far side, trying to reach Henry. Henry chipping it back nicely to Timpano. Mike Timpano with this ball. Here's an opportunity for Elliot Lake. Up against Massimiliano. Nice turn to the inside. Still moving forward. And Massimiliano is able to get his foot on a good effort by Mike Timpano to try to get his team back in this game.
That's right. I better make a correction before we get calls there. I said Mickey Mouse. I don't want to get calls like Wayne Gretzky. It's a cat and mouse game, not a Mickey Mouse game.
Well, I'm glad you corrected that, Joey.
I'm not Wayne Gretzky, but I remember the flack he got for it, so I thought I'd better make that correction.
Joe Lombardi now at the ball, chipping it forward to Danny Ashton. Danny Ashton's tripped up a bit there, but he's still going. Sam Kanji now chips it on here in the near side, I should say, and then Mike Timpano up to O'Neill. Massimiliano, a tough defender for the Italia Flyers, is able to get there first, and we're going to see a throw-in here in favor of the Italia Flyers. Chiquetto with the ball against Binks. That's Penn, I should say. Richard Corsi now turning nicely, still with possession of the ball. He's able to hang on to it, moving forward smartly. He's got Penn on this side. That might be a little bit on the far side. No, Penn's there first. Oh, and a bit of a slide tackle. And we look like, I think we're getting a penalty shot here, Joey.
Penalty shot, yes. He made a little too much contact with the player. It was kind of the counterattack that I've been talking about. The goaltender was a little hesitant coming out. He decided to go back in, and that left with Kanji with a quick decision to make, and he did a sliding tackle, but he got a bit too much of the player and not enough of the ball. Referee made, I think, a good call. He's going to go discuss it with the referee now, but you know, there's absolutely no use to go and discuss it. The referee has made the decision, and I guess he did a little bit more than discussing it because he seems to be getting a caution for it. So
I think also that the referee felt that Kanji had a little more time to clear that ball rather than tackle the player.
Also, we're going to get a replay, and I think you'll see also that there was a good scoring chance. So
there's Penn, and
here
you
it
see
is.
Kanji coming in with the 2 feet, and there's the call. The referee decided that Mr. Kanji was in there a little bit too tough.
I think you'll also see on the replay there that he didn't get much of the ball.
No, he didn't. No.
There was very little contact with the ball, if any.
Right.
And this is one reason why the penalty kick was awarded.
That's right. There was a couple of reasons. One, it was a good scoring chance. The other was that he got too much of the player and not enough of the ball, and we have a penalty shot. We also got 2 players carded on this play. There was another Elliot Lake player that showed a little.
Brian Ashton will take this shot and it's into the left side, and the Italia Flyers go up 3-0.
3-0, and this is a bit of surprise as far as I'm concerned, Mike. I don't know about you, but Elliot Lake's got quite the uphill battle, and they just don't seem to have it tonight.
Well, you know, the penalty shot was called, and quite correctly so, but you can't afford to give away penalty shots or go in like that when you're so near the box. You know, you can slip and miss the ball, but I did think Elliot Lake, as I mentioned before, before that penalty shot, were a moving guy like Andrew O'Neill was moving up and was starting to connect a little bit between him, Brown, and Timpano. And we're making some progress. Now this penalty shot has just killed Elliot Lake. 3 down with about 16 minutes to go. It's a little tough to come back.
Yeah, that penalty shot could have been avoided maybe with a bit more communication between the goaltender and his defender, but the goaltender made a move to go out and get it and then hesitated, decided to go back, and then the defender had to make that quick decision. A little bit more communication might have prevented that penalty shot.
So it's Elliot Lake now with the ball, trying to get back into this game somehow. And unfortunately, that ball goes wide. And as you say, Mike, we've got about 15 to 16 minutes left in this game, with the Italia Flyers enjoying a 3-0 lead against the Elliot Lake United team. Danny Ashton on the inside to Drigo. Drigo back to Brian Ashton. That's Barrett now. Passes it up to Danny Ashton. Turn to the inside, chips it forward nicely, and that's Rinaldi now. And Rinaldi's still moving forward. He looks like he has a shot at this. Turns to the inside, but just may have turned a bit too much. Nick Papero comes out, gets the ball. Bit of a handball, unfortunately, against Ray Purdom, so the Italia Flyers will get a free kick here. Nick Papero, as you can see on your screen, did well to come out and retrieve that ball. And we'll see this ball set up towards the midfield here as a free kick is awarded to Italia Flyers. Rinaldi now with this ball, and finally Ray Purdom prevails. Should mention that the goal scorer of the last game was Brian Ashton. Took that shot. And so what we're seeing here is another free kick awarded to Elliot Lake. Ray Purdom pushing it forward to Chris Binks. Binks will pump it over here to Michael Timpano. He's seen some action on this side. Chips it forward to O'Neill. And that ball's out of play. Number 19, Richard Corsi, is there to intercept the attack from the player you see on your screen right now, Mr. Andrew O'Neill. He's got a bit of a smile on his face, probably more frustration than anything else, as Elliot Lake tries to get back in this game with about 14 minutes left.
I see Vince Pinella has made some roster change, and I think it looks like young Danny Mike Massimiliano has gone out. And he has played a super game tonight, in my opinion. In the first half, he did a lot of offensive running from his defensive position, created a lot of opportunities, and he's also had a real strong defensive game. I see he's on the bench now, and Vince is utilizing his bench, feeling that this game is well in hand.
Danny Ashton going up for that ball. Got a handball there called against Danny, and so we'll see a free kick awarded to Elliot Lake. Taco now with the ball, chipping it back here to Ray Purdom. Purdom back to Taco. Taco trying to turn. Penn is there. Chris Binks now. Ray Purdom with the ball. Parody chipping it forward on the far side. Ball is given back to Taco on the inside. Barrett now doing battle against number 12. We can pick up his name in a second here for you.
This game should do wonders for the Flyers' confidence, Mike. I didn't think that they could handle this United team so easily, but tonight they've had things their way, and they've had a great game, and it should do wonders for their confidence. And I think Vince Pinella making a few changes in the alignment of the team really came through tonight.
Well, you're right, Joe. Certainly the Italia Flyers have played much better tonight than I've seen them in the past couple of games. They got more confidence. You know, they're going to get experience with age, as we say, and they capitalized on three bad defensive mistakes by Elliot Lake, and scored goals.
So it's Ray Purdom now for Elliot Lake, and he moves towards the center line. Chips it forward, trying to get it to Henry, intercepted by Drigo now. Stefanuto with that ball. Ball gets bounced around a bit, but it's finally Penn. Penn on the far side to Joe Lombardi. He'll have a free crack at this one. Joe with a bit of speed coming to the outside, still with that ball. Take a shot, score! No, I'm sorry he missed. I thought that was going in, guys.
Well, from our angle here, Frank, it's easy to make that mistake, huh?
I thought he caught that corner. Joe Lombardi walking back, and you can see Nick Papero shaking the hand of Mr. Purdom there. Joe with an effort, but it must have just went wide, obviously past the goalpost.
Well, the defender did well to keep the player outside, so Papero had a reasonable, easy save to make because of what the defender did, and that, I think, was what he was congratulating his defender on.
Chris Binks now with this ball, turns nicely to get up the field, moving smartly forward. To Tapano. Tapano looking towards the center of the field, chips it forward to Henry. Henry has an opportunity, but Steven Brujic for the Italia Flyers does a good job of getting there first. Penn now for the Flyers, moving it forward, intercepted by Ray Purdom. Should mention Ray is an excellent player as well, and he's played for several years now in the senior league, and he's always been a top-notch player, giving 100% all the time for Elliot Lake. Drigo now on the far side. Gets it through to Danny Ashton, looking for Chiquette on the far side. Considers the options, now passes it through, but Kanji is there to pass it back to Nick Papero, who, as you see, launches this ball and looks like will come out of play. Approximately 10 minutes left in this game, and we have a 3-0 game in favor of the Italia Flyers. Italia Flyers having played extremely well, as you say, Joe, and maybe surprisingly so, because Elliot Lake has always been a top-notch contender in this league, but looks like the Flyers have their number this evening. Chiquetto now with the ball. Near side here, the Elliot Lake desperately trying to get back in this ball. It's going to come to Mike Timpano. Mike Timpano trying to turn. Brian Ashton there on the corner, though. Timpano stops the ball, tries to chip to the inside, still has it, takes a crack at it, but that ball doesn't have enough momentum to do any real damage.
There was an example of a team attacking without depth. They were all in a straight line, and Timpano was looking for spaces, and the forwards were all in a straight line, and there was nowhere to go with that ball except take a shot. When you attack, you have to attack with what they call depth. You have to attack in triangles, and it just gives you a little more depth in attack. As we see a shot by the Flyers there, Frank, but that's what happened with Timpano, and he was a little frustrated there and decided there was nothing to do but have the shot.
Well, we have a bit of a break in the action. We just want to indicate to you that we appreciate your comments, and actually want to add that your comments to date have been very positive, but we would encourage you to call in with any comments and suggestions that you might have to our response line. The number is 560-9448. Appreciate any of the suggestions that you may have to offer us. Joe Lombardi now will take a crack in the inside, but Kanji is there and chips it forward. Ray Purdom now on that side, I should say Parody. Parody over here to Mr. O'Neill, trying to get it intercepted there. Stefanuto doing battle, but loses that ball to number 21 here for Elliot Lake. Gives it off to Mike Timpano. Mike Timpano turning with that ball against Rinaldi. Mike still with control. Nice move to the inside. Chips it forward. Henry there a little bit on the far side. Mike Timpano making an effort. That ball gets high in the end. Steven Brujic with a shot. Oh, I'm sorry, Steven Brujic. Steven Brujic gets his hands on that. Otherwise, I think we would have had our first goal for Elliot Lake.
Yes, and that was created by Mike Timpano across from the wing. And I don't know if you noticed, but we have young Guy Henry, who started the game in goal, playing up front, and almost got a goal there with from a nice cross from Mike Timpano.
Mike Timpano now ready to take this corner kick, chipping it forward in the box, and Drigo's up there. Purdom trying to get a shot at, turns with that ball. He'll take a crack at this, and that's a little bit wide, unfortunately. Lake trying desperately, and rightly so, to get in this game.
Yes, and Ray Purdom did well on that one, too. As you see, Frank, he was surrounded by players and managed to get the ball free and get a good scoring opportunity on it. Again, as you said before, Purdom, excellent player, and controls the ball really well, heads-up player, played in the league for a number of years, and great offensively with the ball.
As we see Ray Purdom on the screen there, we should also mention that Ray is heavily involved with the Suburnia League and has done well to assist them in terms of developing their players, and I think that's worthy of a lot, especially when you have players going back and trying to assist young players in their development. So hats off to Mr. Ray Purdom there for Elliot Lake.
Yeah, that's the other thing that a lot of these players and ex-players that have played that stay involved and help with the coaching the young kids, coaching the ladies. Our hat should go off to them, because without them, soccer in this city sure wouldn't be the caliber that it is.
O'Neill now trying to get that ball up. Matt Timpano takes a crack at it, but Brujic is there. The angle is a little bit tough for Mike to try to get past Brujic. Brujic chipping that ball forward. Sam Conji now playing the defender role for the Elliot Lake. Chipped up. Joe Lamberti against Henry. There it is. Joe Lamberti with a breakaway against Pero. Takes a shot. It's in there. That's an easy one for Joe Lamberti. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't make the turn on that play.
Well, that's the chances you take when you're attacking. You leave yourself open to counterattacks, and that's what happened there. Young Joe Lamberti found himself one-on-one with the defender, beat the defender, and saw the goaltender coming out. Okay, we're going to have a replay here, Frank, and you'll see the heads-up play by young Lamberti here.
Lamberti moving towards the goalie, Nick Papero, and you'll see Nick Papero has to come out and challenge, but Lamberti will use his right foot to direct it to the far side, and there you see the goal. And by the way, we should mention is that Joe is normally a left footer, but the kind of player that either foot is a weapon for him. Anyways, it's Rinaldi now. Rinaldi to Panella, I believe that was. And it's now a taco for Elliot Lake. Gets it here on the near side to Mike Timpano. Timpano still with possession of the ball, and it bounces off Stefanuto, so we will see. No. Referee has indicated a goal kick. And as you see, Mike Timpano, number 9 for Elliot Lake, trying everything he can to get this Elliot Lake team back into the play. But with less than 5 minutes and an insurmountable lead of 4-0, it's very doubtful that they can. Italia Flyers playing very well this evening and deserving of the 4-0 lead that they currently enjoy. Chiquetto now, and they're still coming for more with Rinaldi. Rinaldi turns, bit of time, chips it on the far side to Danny Ashton. Not sure Danny can retrieve that. Yes, he does. He's able to keep that ball in. No, he's not. A little bit indecision there, but
Joe, the fourth goal there by Joe Lamberti for Italia Flyers again. A little bit of inexperience on the defenseman's part by, you know, if you're going to hit the ball back to the goaltender, then hit it back to him. Don't let it dribble back. Hit it back and give him a chance to get the ball. And unfortunately, he hit it back too easy.
Too easy, and also if he could have kicked it out on the sidelines. When you have a player on your back, you shouldn't take those chances. And being last man back, the coach will tell you, get that ball out of danger.
And another tip too for the young defenseman giving the ball back, because as you know, I used to play many years ago. If you're going to give it back, then give it to the side away from the goal. That way, if you miss, you'll put it out wide, and you're taking it away from the player. So, you know, if you have the opportunity, keep it away from the goal when you're putting it back. Let the goaltender come out to the side and pick it up.
That's right.
So we have a free kick here awarded to the Italia Flyers. You can see Mr. Ashton standing over the ball, and he's about 4 or 5 yards off the 18-yard box. And it looks like it's Mr. Chiquetto or Rinaldi where flicks it back, and a shot. It's an interesting setup.
Well, it's the referee has blown the whistle. The players haven't heard, but I've seen that done, I think, from the Brazilian side or the Argentine. A little bit cheeky. When you're leading 4-0, I imagine you could. Referee's calling an indirect free kick on the Flyers. I think the ball must be played the circumference of the ball, and the ball did not roll either back or forward. It just went straight up. Yeah. So the referee has called an infraction on that.
Rinaldi now for the Italia Flyers. Does well to get past the Elliot Lake player, a little bit too far for Richard Corsi on the near side.
I think before this game is over, we should also mention, Frank, that you know, we've congratulated all the ex-players and that for coaching and that, but sometimes we forget the people behind the scenes, the executives of the leagues, and the people that do the work in the offices and the meetings, and that's something that we should be thankful for, because without them you have no league.
So now we've got Sam Conji with the ball, passing it back to Andrew O'Neill. Passes that one back to Conji. Elliot Lake not sure what to do right now. In any event, they have less than a couple of minutes to get back in, and it's doubtful that they will. Ray Purdom now with the ball, gives it up to Joe Lamberti. Joe Lamberti with this Ball to Danny Ashton. Kinds of time. Danny moving in, takes a shot, and that's a little wide. Looks like the Elliot Lake team has almost thrown in the towel, Joey.
Well, I think the third goal actually kind of destroyed their hopes, and right now they're just going through the motions. And we saw in that free kick that young Brian Ashton took, the Flyers are full of confidence. When you go out there and take a free kick like that, it's showing that you have a lot of confidence in being cheeky. But leading 4-0, and full credit to them. They've deserved it. They've played a super game tonight, but I don't know about that cheeky stuff.
So we've got Rinaldi chipping it forward over here to Chiquetto. Chiquetto trying to turn, and it looks like Rivers prevails. Rivers loses that ball to Rinaldi now for the Italia Flyers. Rinaldi still with that ball, chips it out, trying to get Chiquetto, but that's intercepted by Brown. Mike Brown turning. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't Mike Brown, that was Kanji. It's Chris Binks now for Elliot Lake, chipping it forward. Taco, a little bit of space on the inside to Mike Timpano. Richard Corsi, Brian Ashton now, and you can see the all kinds of space in the middle. And that's the end of the game exactly at the 90-minute mark. We should mention that we have a 4-0 game in favor of the Italia Flyers that you see in blue and white as they congratulate their players. And gentlemen, maybe we can just do a quick wrap-up of what happened in this game.
Well, the game started out with both teams feeling each other out and playing a very nice game in the midfield, and then the Flyers got a break when Danny Ashton scored in the 18-minute mark on a miscue by Elliot Lake defender. After that, it seemed to be all Flyers with Angelo Chiquetto scoring the next goal, and then Brian Ashton on a penalty shot when the game was kind of already out of hand. And then Joe Lamberti finished it off in the final minutes and ended up as 4-0. Full credit to the Flyers. It's probably the best game I've seen them play, and I know Mike says the same thing. And I think that Elliot Lake was a little flat. It's a little puzzling to me because they usually aren't, but that's more or less the what happened tonight.
So this is Frank Malvasso along with Mike Dowling and Joe Presta bidding you farewell. We'll see you next Monday for live action from Queens Athletic Field. Take care.
Good night.